Okay. So the first thing, as I said, is that you don't want a quartz watch, and you want a watch that has proprietary movement to you. And that list I gave you was pretty long, and so I'll have it up here at the side. You can take a look at it there. Now, the place to get them, there are certain places that I'm sure you've seen them on eBay. You can go to eBay and find them. There's a place that's called Chrono 24, and then the watch stores themselves have it online. Whether I go to eBay or Chrono 24 to look at a watch, I always want to find where the physical location is because if I got a bum watch, I want to be able to go get them. And so this is important. So, I mean, for example, if you go to eBay and you find a really nice watch at a price you can afford, uh, go through the details to find a physical location for the vendor. I recommend that highly. Uh, now, if you get something online, a lot of times it will say it will come without papers. Now, this doesn't mean that somebody's trying to pull something. What it means instead is that somebody's had a watch for a long time, and like most things, they don't keep the instructions and all of the other paraphernalia that comes with the packaging. They just want the watch. Uh, Let me give you one example. This one right here is a fairly, I hate to use the word rare, but that's what it is. It's a Vacheron Constantin 72, 1972. Uh, and this watch, when I got the watch, I went through all of the things I just said. I found it, and I thought and negotiated the price. That's something else. If you call the people selling the watch, or you email them and say, look, I really like your watch, but I'd like to offer you X amount. Don't be afraid to do that. You can save yourself literally thousands of dollars by doing that. So, so I called them and got that. They sent me the watch, and the first thing that I did is that I called the concierge at Vacheron Constantin, and I gave the very helpful person there the serial number of the watch, and so she gave me some information and asked me if I wanted more information about the watch, was to get the movement number, not the movement number. There's a special number on the inside of your watches. Patek Philippe did the same thing, and take a picture of it or write it down or something. Well, the first time I did it, apparently they said, oh, we don't know what that is. It's not in our records. Well, I was ready to go. I knew who to call and who to go after if something was wrong with it. But it turned out that there really wasn't anything wrong with it. It was, I took some more pictures. In fact, what I did is that I used my iPhone for a camera, and I took a loop, put it over the eyepiece of the camera, and took a picture of it so that they could see all of the details. And sure enough, they came back. Oh, we found it. This is what it is. It was made in 2000. I'll give you the year it's made and all of the numbers that go with it. That's another thing that I think is important to do. When you see a watch that you really like, get the reference number on it. For example, there's this watch I'm looking at, and the number is Q1368420. And I also know that it has a certain type of movement in it. It's a caliber 925. Now, you want to get those numbers because there are a lot of little differences between watches. Some watches are relatively inexpensive, and when they are, there's usually a reason for it. Something wasn't quite right. Sometimes there's a lot wrong with a watch, and they still want a lot for it. There was one recent example with a Panerai watch that apparently somebody just stuck in a junk iBosch in it, I think it was some kind of manufacturing error or something. And anyway, it was a huge scandal about it, but they were selling it for $5,000. For an iBosch, it was, 25 cent iBosch or something. So it was something. So you want to be sure to get all of the numbers. You want to make sure that it has a caliber. It's an in-house caliber or proprietary caliber. And if you're going to start your watch collection, you want to start it on the right note. You want to start it so that you're not dealing with a bad watch at the outset. And then you can spend lots and lots of time talking with others online, go to different forums, either for that watch or watch lovers in general. There are plenty of them around. And that was the general way to get started. But I would say don't plan on anything under $2,000 roughly. And it's a fairly expensive hobby, and it's better to start off with a decent watch than it is to, well, I'm going to save, try to get $1,000 watch and convince yourself that it's a Holy Trinity or something. It can happen, but it's unlikely. You want to find something, at least if you want something that's any good. Be patient. This is another big part of it. People, sometimes you'll see something you've been looking for and you say, oh, this is great. And you'll jump at it a little too fast. And it turns out that wasn't quite what you wanted. You didn't check the caliber, the reference number of the watch. And so you end up with something that's really not the kind of watch you want. So just patience is extremely important. It's very hard to do. And I've lost watches because I was patient. I've lost watches because I wanted a better price, and by the time I got to where I wanted, they'd already sold it. That happens, but it's better to let that happen. And keep this in mind, the best deal still has not been yet made. The best deal is always in the future, no matter how good of a deal you get. So don't think that if you don't get a deal, it's the last good deal on the planet. So anyhow, go out, have fun, see what you can find, and take it easy, be patient with it, because they cost a lot of money. And there's an old joke, if you want to make a little money in luxury watches, start with a lot. Well, if you want to make a little money in watch collection, forget about it. Or if you want to save money. If you're worried about investment, you're going to sell it back and so forth, I can't give you any advice on that. That's like saying, well, if you buy a certain stock, it's always going to go up. That's not true. There's so many different factors that are involved. I don't even want to start with it. There are no sure things. That I know. So the focus, if your focus is on something you like, that becomes very important. You want to get something you like. Don't get something weird. This watch, when I first saw it, it was sort of like, it's an ugly duckling. I didn't care for it too much. But the more I learned about it, the more I just love this watch. It has an interesting history to it. It's a Vacheron Constantin. It keeps very good time. It's a manual watch too. There's some things about it it's hard to wind. I had a few problems with the band initially, but those are all behind me now, and I have a watch I truly love. So, and that's what it's really about. It's about things you like. Don't worry about what other people like. Find out something that you feel good about and you enjoy wearing, and you like everything about it on the inside as well as the outside.